Hey, hey, hey. All right, we are live. And it is January 27th. So I'm going to actually turn off. Let me just get to my audio here because I've got some stuff coming through. Hey, all right, we are live. There we go. And turn that off. January 27th. Double audio coming through. Welcome to the show, Art Center Marketing, for another Tuesday night, January 27th, 2026. Here we are. My name is Joey Ragona. You are who you are. Thank you for being here live. If you are here live, let me know with a hashtag live, or if you're watching the replay with a hashtag replay. And Tuesday night, forget to clear that dang comment, so forget about that comment that's posted at the top of the Facebooks. If you are watching me in my Facebook group, let me just get to and Tuesday night, January clear that dang one. So forget about that comment that's posted at the top of the Facebook. If you are watching me in my Facebook group, so let me go back over here. And got to figure out which one is actually the. Where's the other? If you are watching me, that might be the right one. So let me go back over here. Let's try this one. Got to figure out which. Just going on my phone, trying to get so I can see the comments coming in. And where's the other? This should be here, and hopefully this is the right one. Maybe not. Just going on my phone, trying to get so I can see the comments. But I do see viewers, so welcome. Let me know. Actually, do me a favor if you are watching from the Facebook group, put in a comment so I could see if I'm in the right. On the right one on my phone. So welcome. Let me know. Sure that actually, do me a favor if you are watching from the Facebook group, put in a comment in so I could see if I'm in the right. Go back. And try this on the right one on my phone. So welcome. Let me know. Sure that actually, do me a favor if you are watching from the Facebook comments coming in, so I could see if I'm in the right. Go back. Maybe not. Let's see here. So welcome. Let me know. Go back here. Do me a favor if you are watching from the Facebook comments coming in, so I could see. There. All right, I'll keep it on that just to make sure. Maybe not. I don't know if that's the one. Now, without further ado, 3 minutes of me trying to set up the audio and the video. Thank you very much for holding on to me, holding on with me, I should say. All right, I'll keep it on. Tonight, I want to talk about the micro niche advantage. I'm looking over here. I've got a whole bunch of notes here that I made, and I want to share with you what that looks like. It's like this here, the micro niche advantage or niche, however you say that word. And so this is what this is about is it's designed to really answer the question how to define your niche without being too small or without the fear of being too small, because this is the question or the pushback I get all the time. It's been going on for years, and I totally get it. But this is what most entrepreneurs are actually terrified of is niching down, because they think that they will lose potential customers, and they believe that bigger net catches more fish, and that's what we've been taught. But the reality is that trying to serve more people makes you actually a commodity. It's kind of like a bag of rice, right? So you don't want to be like that generic bag of rice on that shelf. So to be a premium business, to make more money in your business, and this is not just about money, right? This is about your like holding on to your energy, not being overworked, not working with people that you really don't love, then you must stop fighting that share of the market. The share of the market piece is this piece over here. Let me move over here. I wonder if it might be better to do it in this way. Okay, this is like the share of the market piece, right? And so many of us have been taught to use this market, and it's not going to help you because that's a mass market. It's maybe the 10%. If you really, really work hard and hustle, I hate that word, and I've always hated that word. I don't want to hustle, right? I don't want to hustle. I just want to make sure that I'm building a business that centers around my life. And that's what this is about, right? Is making your life a whole lot easier. So you don't want to be in this mass market. This is where the broad niches are. So example, I'm going to just use a regular example or an easy example of weight loss in this to explain this a little bit better from my perspective. And this is where you compete on price against massive competition. So if you're in this area, you'll find that if you're just selling, I help you lose weight, right? Everybody can say the same dang thing, and you don't differentiate at all. And welcome on the Instagrams. I'm just going to zoom in. Can I do this for you? Because I know you can't see this graphic too well on Instagram. Thanks for being here. And so let me see if that will help you. Will it help? I'm not even, there we go. It's kind of working. I'm trying to get it into that little window. But anyway, the mass market is where the 10% trap is. And that's where if you work really, really hard and hustle and grind and right, and you fill your funnel with hundreds of thousands of people, you might be able to squeeze out some people. And it's a huge competition level. Let me get my other marker here. Right? Let me just get a bigger one like this. And it's a bigger competition level. You're low because you're built out as a commodity. You don't differentiate from anybody else, and you have this huge competition level, and you might be able to get 10% of the market, and that's where this massive competition is. You don't want to be there. The submarket, right? Then if you move to the right here like this, then you are in a better position because you are in the submarket. But it's still a Me Too trap, and what do I mean by that? The Me Too trap still has heavy competition. Right? You can narrow the niche, and in this case, because I'm using the weight loss example, then instead of saying I help people lose weight, you say I help people lose weight through keto, something like that, right? Now that's cool. But you still suffer from. Let me get rid of this. You still suffer from this generic marketing. And it's not really true differentiation. It's a hard word to say. It's really hard. And so you're still on this heavy competition. It's a little bit better. Like you have a competition level is heavy, and you have a moderate way of actually making a dent in the marketplace. Now, what happens if you move over to the micro niche, which is the victory zone? This is where it all begins to happen for you. And you have minimal competition, right? You have minimal competition over here. Let me zoom in here. Maybe that'll be better. Yeah, zoom in for my friends over there on the Instagram. So the micro niche is the victory zone. So this is where you get really specific on what you do. Let me see, is that better? Let me just zoom back out because I can see it happening on the Instagrams. There we go. This is where you have specificity, like postnatal keto. That is completely specific as opposed to helping people lose weight, right? Can you see that? And it allows you to dominate 80% of the space, 80% to 100%, because you are in a specific market. Now, in here, there's minimal competition, which is what you want, right? Let's use this one. There's minimal competition. And the competition, so like I said, is minimal. Minimal, and you are positioned as a premium, as a specialist. That's why you want to be in the micro niche, and you don't want to be in the submarket, the Me Too trap, right? This is, I guess, number 2, like the second best, but this one here is number 1. And this one over here, the mass market, is number 3. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be in that for sure. And this is where a lot of people are, though. Like they're in this mass market because they think that the more people that they get, the better it's going to be. So the 10% is where the low hanging fruit is. Have you ever heard that? Marketers would tell you, go after the low hanging fruit because it's quote unquote easier, right? And this is where you have a lot of price competition. And it's massive. You're fighting the tiny share of you're fighting the tiny share of the market. And if you're writing that down, right? So you have let me go here. Oops. Over here, you have a share of market. Okay. Actually, let's do it better. Let's go into my eraser, go here, get rid of this, get rid of that. Okay. Over here, you have a share of market. That's because you're competing, right? You're competing on this massive competition here. You're competing. So you have a share of the market. The pie is only so big and you get maybe a percentage of that. If we move over to the micro niche, get rid of that. Now you have a share of the client. Now, what does that mean? The share of the client. So we've been taught as well that you have to have the whole customer journey. in place with products and small products all the way up to, top level masterminds. And I disagree, right? I mean, we have to understand what the journey is. We have to understand where people come in and know where they want to leave off. But now, if we focus in on a specific piece of the journey, right? I mean, and we become understand what the go-to person for that piece of the journey, and know where they want to then you have a share of the client's journey. What do I mean? What do I mean by this? So let's look at the weight loss example I just gave you. So let's say that I help the go-to person for postnatal for women who want to lose their baby weight right after they've had their baby and they get back into let's look at the weight loss pre-pregnancy shape or postnatal shape. So they're back to the way that they were before they were had their baby. They've lost all their baby weight and everything else, and they feel good, right? Now, let's say at that point, they want to now build some muscle. They want to get lean and mean, right? And that's has to do a lot with weights, obviously, weight loss, weight training, and that. Now, I could build a program. Let's say I understand what they want to now build weight training is all about, and maybe I do some myself. And I say, yeah, I can teach you how to do that too. Well, but I'm not the expert in it. So if I take that person and help her lose the weight that she wants to get into the position so that she could go into training, weight training, then that's my share of the client. She's come into my world at a certain point. I've taken that share. I brought her to a point in the journey, and then I let her go to somebody else. And maybe I refer her to one of my friends who can do that the best. Like, you see what I mean? It's a different way of looking at how you look at the customer journey. Now, that person may come back to you because you might be an expert in, I don't know, something else later that comes after weight training. I don't know. But if you look at it just that I'll just take you for this little portion, help you get what you want because I'm the best at it, that's how you differentiate. And it's going to help you make sure that you are pinpointing and deflecting 80% of the market. So there's a core shift here, right? Let me show you this. Let me go down to, oops. So right here, like I just said, you own this share, you own the client share. Where is it here? Go back to this guy. You own the client share, not the market share. So you have this customer journey and you're focusing on this, and then they come to you. They come to you right about here, and that's all that you do. So you're focusing on one specific season of that client's journey, rather their entire journey, their entire life. So the strategy is specialized at dominance, the math of 50 strategy, right? This is where I rebuilt my business when it was failing, trying to do. It's countless funnels that I was building. The strategy I know well over 100 lead magnets, literally over 100 lead magnets. I'm still in Keep trying to get rid of them all, trying to delete them all from that program. But the thing is that when you have a very specific funnel or a very specific person that you're working with, you don't need a lot of them. It's because they're willing to pay you more because of the specialization. Now imagine if I did someone who or worked with people who are just about losing weight, that doesn't matter. But postnatal keto, that's completely specialized. So your prices go up, and that's the reason why you can do a lot more at this lower level or with lower people, right? 50 people. If you have a premium client and you want to make $100,000, all you need is 50 people at $2,000, and the math works. But then, if you're going to do the same thing at, what is it, $100? Is my math right? Yeah. So, 50 clients, where are we here, right? 50 premium clients, 2,000 is so much easier than 1,000 people, mass clients at $97 or whatever it is you're going to charge. So that's how I rebuilt my business. It was, first of all, I want to have a very intimate type of cohort and be able to help people on a one-on-one basis, even if it's in a group setting. So that means very small groups, which means just let's do the math easy. For the four cohorts I did, starting in 2020. I still do them now. What all I need is 25 people every quarter. That's it. 25 people. Actually, less than that. What am I saying? If I have 50 people, if I wanted to make just $100,000, which was the goal, then it's less than what all I need is. So it's 12 people every 12, something like that. Let's say 15 people. 15 people every quarter, and you will reach your goal that way, and you don't have this massive funnel of just leads coming in trying to convert them. That is what this is all about. So the analogy is, right, use the visualization here on the bus to Vegas filter. I've talked about this before, but I want to explain it a little bit more to you. Or again, just to implant this into your brain, because the concept is like, imagine this. Imagine that you're driving a bus across the country and you stop to every bus stop and you say, hey, who wants to go to the West Coast? That's the mass market, right? Who wants to go to the West Coast? So you get a mix of people coming onto the bus with different goals. And if you open the door on the filter side of it, you only want the specific people. You open the door and you say, hey, are you going to Las Vegas? That's the submarket, right? That's the submarket. Remember this middle piece right here. Let me actually clear everything from this page so I can make it clean again. Boom. Right? That's the submarket we're talking about. Go back here. Come on, Joey. Submarket. If you say, open the bus door and you say, listen, you want to go to Las Vegas, that's the submarket. And the micro niche, when you move over here, this is, are you going to MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas, right? You open up the door and you say, are you going to MGM Grand to play blackjack? That's the micro niche. And only the perfect people will get on that bus. It doesn't matter where they came from, what their demographics is. It matters that they all want the desire for the exact same thing. They're going to play blackjack for some reason. It doesn't even matter to you why they're going to play blackjack, right? So that's the whole idea. The fear of too small is really an advantage to you, because if you're trying to serve everyone, you sacrifice your point of view to fit in, and you become average. You charge premium prices. To charge these premium prices, like 2,000, 3,000, you need to stand out. And that's the way you do it. You just don't raise prices because you raise prices and you become average. Somebody told you to raise prices, like me or whatever. You still have to have a reason for it. And it still has to be an urgent need that somebody is willing to pay for that specificity. And that's what you want. That's what this is all about, right? So don't be afraid. The best niche, I learned this from Evan Page. The best niche is not chosen, it's discovered. I remember that, because what this means is when you get into conversations, right? When you gather people into a conversation, whether that's in your Facebook group, whether it's over emails, like all that stuff, instead of just trying to sell them stuff in the mass market with all kinds of different price points and products and this and that, just focus on one thing and focus on conversations, so that, let's say you don't even know what the product is, you bring in the people first. That's what the dream client is all about, right? We talked about that before in my previous episodes. Please go watch those again if you don't know what the dream client truly is about. But the dream client is about the person that you want in your life first, and your business second. It's not about who do I sell to, it's about who do I want to hang out with, period, even if I wasn't getting paid. And then because you want to hang out with those people so badly, because they're so awesome like you, then the conversations that you have with them is kind of like discovery, without getting on the discovery call and all those kind of things and asking questions. You still can ask questions and whatever, but within the conversation, you see patterns emerge, and that is where the niche comes in. So the best niche is not chosen, it is discovered. It emerges from having those deep conversations with the tribe that you want to serve. So here's the goal. Let's finish up with the goal, right? Stop trying to get a piece of the big pie. Instead, create your own pie where you're the only logical choice. That is what this is all about. The micro niche advantage. So I'm hoping this helped you out. If it did, let me know in the chat. Let me know if you have a question after this. I'll come back and answer as many questions as are on the thread. Thank you for being here. My name is Joey Ragona. It is another Tuesday night. It's a snowy one here in Toronto. Finally, we haven't had this much snow in wow, like 50 years. But it's been a cool one. And I will see you next Tuesday night for another Hearts Under Marketing show. It's been great. Have a good one.